Hi, my name is Ethen Ostroff. I'm the CEO and founder of TurnkeyOps, a virtual assistant staffing company for law firms. I also own my own personal injury and mass tort practice where I represent people from all over the country. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to get into how to prepare your systems for virtual assistants. Before I get into that, make sure to hit that subscribe button, follow along where I will make sure your future injury case is protected and that your law firm is ready to scale with virtual assistants. Every firm comes to me saying, I want to hire virtual assistants. Where should they start? If you have any interest, feel free to check out my other video where I talk about the tasks that are the easiest to start virtual assistants on. The way that firms struggle with virtual assistants is simply because they can't assign the work cleanly enough and consistent enough. It has to be routine enough that it happens automatically. So the way that you set your firm up systems-wise for virtual assistants, the number one thing that firms struggle with is using free-form notes in either Needles, CasePeer, Litify, whatever. If you're not putting the data into the system in a way that the system can spit out what you have to do, then people are not going to be able to find their task to do. For example, let's say that you want to order medical records, and you send some sort of chatter message, some sort of post-it note inside of your case management system. And that note says, please order medical records from Jefferson Hospital, Penn Hospital, Lehigh Valley Center, and ATI Physical Therapy, start dates and end dates are this and that. And you just literally type it up into a note. The problem with that is that the only way to figure out what I have to do, if I'm the medical record retrieval person, I have to go into every single case and find my work. Whereas if you prepare your system in a way that allows for people to run a report that shows them every single outstanding medical record request by provider, then you are able to scale a department for virtual assistants, getting medical records, for example. If your systems are organized and you create medical record requests in a specific, consistent location and way, this will allow your firm to assign the work fast enough and consistent enough for your system to spit out what needs to be done. If you're typing up a note and you're putting it in as a posted note, then the paralegal case manager is going to have to one by one assign the requests. What you can do to remove that little middle step to allow for a virtual assistant to come into your system and know what they have to do, it needs to go into the system the same way every time. The way that I do it is I use an object in Salesforce, because I'm on Litify, that has all the fields of data that I need. For example, the provider, start date, end date of service, those all have their own field. Provider is its own field. The phone number related to that provider is its own field. And then when I add the provider, all that you, as the assigner of the work, need to do is verify that the information looks right. And then what I'm able to do is take that data. Let's say that on one case, there's 5 requests for medical records. I then can run a report that says, show me all by status. If I have a status field that shows not started, in progress, completed, I can show a virtual assistant a list of tasks or a list of requests that all have the status of not started and in progress, instead of forcing them to go dig through all of your case files to find their work. Now, what I'm trying to explain to you is a really big paradigm shift. Instead of typing up free-form notes, I need the case manager to go get this set of medical records. I want it from here, I want it from there. You put it into the system in a way that I can then generate a report and then sort by either request date, if it's an urgent request, or ideally by provider. The reason why I say to do it by provider, what that gives you the ability to do, if on all your cases you consistently enter the data in the way that you should, Then you can run a report by provider for all your outstanding medical records. Then on one call, let's say you have 10 clients treating at one provider, you can get 10 sets of medical records on one call. So really the most important thing to take from this, get away from free-form notes. That is the number one piece of advice that I recommend. No matter what system you're on, if you're on Needles or you're on a supercharged system like Litify or Filevine, the systems are only as good as you use them. And if you're not using them correctly, you're not going to get the benefit of that system. No matter if you have the best system or the worst system, all systems have the ability for you to enter data into them correctly. If you're doing it in a way that's incorrect and you can't run that report that I'm explaining to you, you're going to struggle with giving enough work fast enough to virtual assistants. So to cap this off, the best way to set up virtual assistants to scale and to have them get the work quick enough is by putting the data in, not in free-form notes, but in a specific and organized way that you can generate reports off of. Thanks so much. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out another one of my virtual assistant staffing videos. I'm happy to hop on a call. Feel free to schedule below, where I would love the opportunity to talk to you about helping your firm get virtual assistants scaled up so that you can see the benefits that I see. Thanks so much.